Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. A video that I've honestly been looking forward to recording because I thought I'd be here celebrating and sharing this unbelievable moment, maybe righting a wrong from, 2008, but unfortunately it's not went our way, unfortunately, and I'm not here to bring you good news and celebrate with you. Instead, we're here to reflect on what has been an incredible journey, but an incredible journey that had a heartbreaking ending. And I think heartbreaking is the word that you're going to be saying a lot of and you're going to be reading a lot of if you spend some time online or if you're talking to your friends, your family, whatever. You're going to be hearing that word because that's really what it felt like as Rangers did fall at the final hurdle and was beaten on penalty kicks in the Europa final. That's right, that's how we got beat after this incredible journey where we weren't supposed to make it. Our team wasn't supposed to get to the dance, but we did, people, and we weren't beat by Frankfurt during the game or anything like that over the 90 minutes, over the 120 minutes. It went to the lottery of penalty kicks, and to be fair to them, even though it is a lottery and you get a wee bit luck now and again, and sometimes the better team will lose a penalty shoot or sometimes the team that didn't really deserve to win ends up winning it. That happens in football and happens in games upon game upon game every single season. But if you take a step back and you look at the penalty kicks, and we will obviously speak about them in more detail later on this afternoon, Frankfurt's penalty kicks were absolutely sensational. I mean, every single one of them was buried into a corner, where we obviously had two that went down the middle, where one unfortunately ended up missing, where again that's maybe a bit timid or anything like that. They just stepped up with full confidence and full belief and shot them right in the breadbasket every single time, and they certainly deserved it based on the penalty kicks to step up and take them with that much confidence. So can you really sit here and complain that they ended up lifting the trophy? Probably no, people, when you take all that into consideration, and obviously the fact they never lost a single game in Europe all the way through. Massive congratulations to them, and obviously they certainly were the team that really turned up and created the better chances and dominated for large periods in the game. I know we had a couple of wee spells and we had that chance in the 118th minute, which will probably keep me up for a very, very long time, but overall in the game they were fantastic. So congratulations to them. I wish I wasn't needing to say that, but sometimes you smile and sing when you win, and you got to hold your hands up when you get beat. So we'll do that. But even in saying that, I have to still sit here and feel absolutely scunnered by my team, because I felt like it was there for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt like what we performed in the final isn't even a tenth of what we are capable of doing. I thought, and again, this might be too harsh and too raw emotional, that, but for me, I thought we were far, far too passive in the game of football. I thought we played into their hands. I thought we were very, very timid overall, and I think when you fight and you claw and you battle your way to an unbelievable achievement like it was a European final, that's when you just take the handbrake off and you give absolutely everything, you really go after them. But I thought maybe we were too passive in the game. You know what I mean? Like, we saw where their weaknesses are, going at the back, getting after them, and we spent very little time actually doing that in the game. So I think it sticks in there because we all know we could have played better than that, and obviously that's the biggest stage to actually perform, and there's no doing that. Really, really is annoying, because I even think back to the 2008 final and everything like that. When we go all the way back to that, what would I have been, 13, just turning 13 by the time that final and everything came on? Yeah, about 13 and everything like that. I remember going into that with my father and everything like that, being like really, really excited, and then after about 10-15 minutes we never really laid the we know the circumstances with the schedules and all that, but going into that final after 15-20 minutes we couldn't get anywhere near them. You know what I mean? They just looked a much, much better side, and even though Frankfurt for me played better on the day, for me it was balanced. I mean, we should have been able to go after them more, and that's what's probably going to keep me up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is we could have done more, we should have done more, but we never. But sometimes that happens again in football, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it can be very, very cruel, and what the cruelest way to lose it is the way we done it. Maybe that was always going to be the case, I mean, if we're ever going to lose another European final after what we've done this season, it was always going to be painfully to penalty kicks. I mean, 10 penalties were taken, 1 was missed, and that's all it took. Fine margins, ladies and gentlemen, and the longer you watch today's video, the more the fine margins will be talked about, and throughout the game recap, with the chances that was missed, the chances that went the other way, etc, etc. So if you're just looking for my initial gut reaction, absolute heartbroken and everything like that, but that's football. That's what can happen, and I've still got a lot of pride in the team. I'm not going to sit here and rant and shout and say, oh, this guy's terrible, get him out of the club. that's not what I'm going to do today or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm still very, very proud of what we were able to achieve this year, because again, you know my circumstances away for the things. It's not been a great year for me at all. It's been probably the hardest year of my life, especially over the last couple of months and everything. Let's go on that. So the European journey's been such an important just release for me, and it's gave me so many good memories and so many smiles, and gone out to Germany and experiencing all, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things in there. So now that we've lost or fell at the final hurdle, I'm not going to sit here and throw all the rest of the things at pram. It has been an incredible journey, but it's an incredible journey that it definitely has a sour taste, because I just felt like we could have done more. And I guess all that's playing its part in, and I know this video's all over the place, I do apologise, but I'd rather just have an honest conversation rather than BS and playing at the cameras and getting what I think is going to do well. I'll sit here and I'll talk to you, and I guess that's why it's in my mind and it's kind of fried right now, because I'm proud and everything, and rightly so, what we've done is incredible, but also there is disappointment. You almost didn't want to go too harsh on the players for actually getting there, but did we do enough in that game of football to warrant lifting a major European trophy? I didn't think so. I mean, there was one player out the entire team that I thought ran their absolute heart and soul and deserved to be a winner of a European trophy tonight, and that was Calvin Bassey. I don't know how you feel about that. For me, he was, for me, I just went ahead and said that I am very, very tired, but Calvin Bassey, to me, in this game of football, was everything you would want from a footballer. You know what I mean? He just went out there and just gave everything. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's faultless and he was perfect and that, but he just gave everything. Every blade of grass covered, threw himself at everything, got stuck in everything, didn't shy away for challenges, didn't shy away for the ball. When he did make mistakes, and obviously we'll talk about him getting beat for the goal, but there's a lot of other mistakes building up for that goal, and trust me, we'll get there. But even when he slipped, what was he slipped in? Was it extra time? Was it extra time that he slipped, or just before extra? I think it was an extra time. He slips and the boy leaves him. And you're thinking to yourself, oh no, I've seen a guy slip before and cost his team and everything. Like, you start to think, oh no, I've got this. But then Bassey picks himself. He doesn't feel sorry for himself. Doesn't he slap the ground? Doesn't he shout at anybody else, say, that should be you, help me? Like, no, he gets back up and just gives everything and nearly runs himself out of a hamstring getting back and putting a wonderful challenge in. And that summarises everything. That 30 seconds there just summarises everything for Calvin Bassey. And what a player he is, by the way. What's he, 22, 23 years old, came to this football club. This is his first year in his career, that he's actually a consistent starter. What a player and what a performance. And if there was ever a player that deserved to be lifting up a trophy this afternoon or this night or whenever you're watching it, it would have been big Calvin. But again, even with the performance he gave, it wasn't enough. And I think you have to look at some of the other players in that for me. And again, I'm not wanting to be overly critical in that in this video, but did they perform to their best of their ability? No. Did I think Gio set up the team too passively and too timid? Aye. Was some of the substitutions questionable? For me, aye. And again, the players that's actually having to go on there on the park didn't do enough. And the longer you watch today's video, you'll hear that bit. Aye, let me try and recap this game then, shall we? I'll probably jump over some parts because, again, there is so much to break down. But to start off, something I've said numerous times already, far too passive. And that was a surprise, because if you go back even to yesterday's preview video, I'm an idiot, right? I ken nothing. But even I know for word how they were going to set up and how they were going to play doing to a T. Force the ball out wide, go for that, hit long shots when they're given opportunities, and again, have that ridiculous high line. But we never really asked any questions. As soon as the whistle went, we went back. It was very reminiscent, if you think back, and sorry for mentioning this, but back to Parkhead when we got our scants pulled down in the first half. Do you remember when we just sat back? It was like that. And that's not how we got to a European final. And that's a surprise. But amongst the passiveness of Rangers, you obviously had John Lundstrom with he tries to kick the ball. He does actually kick the ball, but he gets the ball and then the boy puts his head down. For me, I thought it was going to be a yellow card. It's never a red card in my opinion. Again, people can shout at me and call me for this or this, but I think it's a yellow card. I don't even think he gets yellow cards. I think the referee got that one wrong, but the referee was quite interesting with his decisions on yellow cards and everything like that. So that kind of delayed the game a little bit, and I don't know if that big stoppage right into the game it played its part in why it just felt flat in terms of game. But there was no real moments of football and quality from either side until about 19 minutes into the game of football, where Barisic gets beat, gone in to the inside. Stop me if you've heard this before. The boy hits a shot, but it's a wonderful save for Alan McGregor, who probably has just made his last appearance for Rangers. But that was a big stop for McGregor 19 minutes into this game. And then the water break comes, and that gives us a wee chance to tweak a couple of things. And to be fair, the next opportunity in the game came 6 minutes later, and it was after Scott Wright, who, I know he gets attacked and everything a lot, and people say this and that, but for me, when he was on the park, he was trying, you know what I mean? He wasn't scared by the occasion. He didn't keep going back the way or turning away. Every time he got it, he tried to run forward, and full credit to the lad. Again, he's not the finished article or anything like that. He's more than a rough diamond, if you want to say it like that, but he kept trying. And anyway, he takes a Syrian here as he passes it to Joe Aribo, who tries a curling effort, but it's about a yard outside the post. But that was it for Rangers in the opening 25 minutes, when I really thought, with how defensively slack they are, we'd be going after them and trying to grab a stranglehold in this game. But that's as close as it came, opening 25 minutes. Then, if you remember yesterday's preview video, we talked about a couple of the key areas that was going to define this game. It was going to be set pieces, because they do a lot of clever little short free kicks. Remember, I actually said that in the video, and they actually end up nearly scoring from a short set piece where they pass it in and eventually gets headed wide. But the other thing that we talked about in yesterday's preview video was the battle between Kostic and Tavernier. That was going to define the game, and all the way through this game, especially in the 90 minutes where both players were able to go pretty much as they wanted, it was that battle back and forth, and Kostic was certainly winning in the opening 45 minutes, where he goes very, very close with yet another cross, and I know he has a moment later on in the game, but for me, we didn't do enough to slow down Kostic at all, and we let him build himself up and build himself up. We knew he's playing down the left-hand side. When an idiot like me knows it 24 hours a game, I thought we'd have more of a plan put in place for him, but aye, he had done a couple of wee nice things, set up a couple of shots, but it eventually led to us getting up the park by about the 38th minute, where we end up getting a set piece. Barisic, good cross in, header for Lundstrom. It's never gone in, but it's at least a shot on target, and a 60-second reprieve from Kostic running it down the left-hand side and then keeping us pinned back. It was poor for Rangers, and I'm probably not even doing it justice describing how poor it was if you missed the game or anything like that, but it was like playing a game of hot potato. You know what I mean? We just wouldn't do anything with the football. We were scared to death of it. There was no imagination, there was no drive. We looked scared in the first half, and that's disappointing, because for me, we've done all the hard parts. We battled all the scares. We came back all the way. It was the final now. Go out and unleash it. Why play passive? Again, it's easy to say in hindsight, and I'm nobody to be questioning anybody or anything like that, but from a fan perspective watching it, I couldn't believe how scared we were playing. But after a couple of long shots and nearlies and maybes from Frankfurt, we go in at half time, and I think we were all saying the exact same thing. If you can think back, by goodness, we got away with that one. We'll certainly not played as bad as that in the second half. Surely no, we will adjust and change, because Gio's shown in Europe before, he will tweak and he will change at half time, but none really changed, because it was Frankfurt again that started on the front foot, and they went close with Lundstrom, if that's how you're pronouncing it, with a wee cut back, and then a couple of minutes after they went close again with another shot, and then they had a penalty shout that VAR, I think, laughed out the building. It was a couple seconds or anything like that. I think the boy dived, again from my angles, and for VAR it looked like a dive. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but we then go, probably happens against us, because if you think of it, when we're playing in domestic league or anything like that, when we're at our best, we're dominating, we're creating chances, goalkeepers making saves, we're just missing, and then the other team goes up and scores with one of the few chances in the game for usually something lucky. That's exactly what happened in our favour in this game, and I couldn't believe it. 56th minute on the clock from the goal kick that probably shouldn't have ever happened, because I think Kent should do a lot better, because it was a good move from us. Kent ends up slashing that shot, goes out for a goal kick. The goal kick comes up, Connor Goldson, big boy header, gets it, bombing up the park. The centre-backs that we talked about again in yesterday's video about being so bad when you make them run back the way, flops the header, and Joe Aribo does sensational here, and it's a shame everybody will forget about this moment, but it's wonderful, the calm, the composure for a guy that isn't a centre forward to run through there, curve it with that left foot and give us the lead in the game when we didn't deserve it, was brilliant. And you're just like to yourself, I can't believe we're doing this now. Let's keep up and just tighten things up, no mistakes, and we've lifted a European trophy. But it's Rangers this season, Rangers and mistakes go like that, and it's just so frustrating, because I'm not going to just pull it back 30 seconds, right? I'm not going to speak about the cross or anything, because I want to go back further than that, because the breakdown of this goal is for 3 minutes. I don't know why I put 4 5. 3 minutes, people, right? Come back with me first, right? Connor Goldson originally does very well to win not only one 50-50, but two 50-50s. But again, once he wins that, what do we do with the ball? Just gives it to the opposition. You think to yourself, what's going on here? Anyway, the ball eventually comes back and we get the ball back. We pass it to Connor Golson, who does an awful first touch. He's sliding in to try and get it away now. It goes right to them. It gets clipped through. The boys should score. I think is it Kameda? Is that how you pronounce the game? Sorry if it's Snow or anything like that. But it lifts it over the bar and you think, right, we got away with that, Ian. But this is on the build-up of the goal. Do you see how many mistakes I've spoken about already in that little 30-second clip? Well, it just continued because from our goal kick, we give it straight back to them. Again, the ball eventually finds its way down the left-hand side where Kostic down the left-hand side. Only got one man on him. Why? I don't know. He's just the best player and he's most influential player in the entire game. But anyway, the ball eventually goes down the left-hand side. There's a wee bit of combination play. We've got Scott Wright doing the defending on one of the most lethal crossers in a European competition. Why? I don't know. But anyway, it's part and parcel with the game. Maybe, again, you've got to take the responsibility. And for me, Scott Wright should stop this cross from coming in. Sorry, if it's coming down the other side, what we all saying about Barisic? You know what I mean? What we saying about Barisic right now? Always got to stop the cross. You've always got to stop the cross. So, no matter if you're a forward, a left back, a midfielder, a centre back, a goalkeeper, when you're out there versus someone that can cross a ball like that, don't let it go in. Throw your body on it, stop the cross, and then you can deal with the set piece or whatever. But it's a kind of lackadaisical. Maybe he was knackered, maybe he was blown and everything like that happens in a game. But the cross beats him. And then even still, right, and I'm not blaming fully on Scotty, I'm just listing the mistakes because remember, this whole clip's been mistake after mistake. For the goal kick, Goldson, 3 times, this, and then Goldie comes up again with just, it's hard to really explain what this actually is because it's a ball that comes in and from my perspective, again, I might be misremembering it because I've got a lot going on in my mind, but the ball's coming and I think he leaves it for Bassey. I think that's what he's doing. I may be wrong about that or anything. Maybe he thinks the goalkeeper's coming to get it. I don't know. But he looks behind. And in Calvin Bassey, again, you can class this as a mistake because he gets beat. You can't ever let your man run in front of you. But I think, again, he's thinking Goldson's getting it. Goldson's thinking he's getting it. And I don't know. It's just the usual mistakes it's cost us all season long domestically bled into our most important game in European football. And it's just classic Rangers defence this season with needless mistake after mistake after mistake. There's about 5 or 6 in there and 3 of them was for Goldson. The only time I can think of Sakala actually getting played in behind was in the 84th minute after a couple of long shots from Frankfurt that was nearlies and maybes. Again, Glenn Kamara done one of his few things for me that was genuine quality in this game. He turned his man with the Kamara turn, if you will. He tried it a couple of times and it kept falling all over the place. But this time he actually done it. He passes Sakala and Sakala goes for a cross but it's deflected into the arms of the goalkeeper. Very reminiscent of when we were in extra time versus Celtic. Kind of similar position where we drove it across but the deflection took it into the back of the net from Starfelt. This time into the arms, a trap and you're thinking, that was a big chance. It ended up being our last real opportunity to score within 90 minutes as it looked to be Kostic. Again, left 1v1 down the left-hand side. Why? I don't know. He's just the best player in every flat. But he nearly punishes us down the left-hand side as the ball comes all the way across them because it always is force-fed down the left. But we survive that. We get in to extra time and you're just thinking to yourself, right, what a roller coaster. From being in the lead, not really deserving in the game, to having a 5-10 minute spell where we looked alright, but then falling away again and becoming far too passive. What's going to happen in the second half? Are we finally going to take the handbrake off and go after this mob? Where's Kamal Roof? Is he getting on the park? No. Not yet. As the only sub that we made going into extra time was putting Scotty Arfield in for Glenn Kamara, who again Glenn Kamara had well just ran out of everything. So on comes Scotty in. He had a long shot. He's kind of typical Scotty Arfield, long shots and everything. People can talk about how much of a threat he is going forward and everything like that, but what's his batting average? Getting anything on target. Exactly. So he curls one over the bar, and then we go into the second half, extra time. We then make another crazy little moment, but it's that chance we talked about earlier where Bassey ends up slipping, they end up going through, but Bassey, full credit to the lad, he gets back up, puts a beautiful slide challenge in, and we defend it well through John Lundstrom from the set piece. And again, we actually defended set pieces well and still found a way to beat ourselves with our stupid defensive mistakes. That's just what we've been this season. Honestly, it'd drive you mental. And then a moment happens that I imagine will be discussed quite a lot. Joe Rebo was withdrawn from the game of football for Sands. Now, I get on paper why we made the substitution to have on playing centre-back, but for me, John Lundstram was doing that job perfectly fine. Not once did I look at Lundstram at that centre-back spot and think he was a weak link or anything like that. Like, the goal we conceded was Scott Wright no stop my cross, Connor Goldson no dealing with the cross, and Calvin Bassey unfortunately just getting beat on the inside and everything. Not once did I look at Lundstram and think, oh, he should have been there. No, that wasn't his job. But anyway, Sands comes on, we start attacking, finally. And you can see the game, and that's where the biggest frustration is, people, when we actually attacked them. How vulnerable did they look? You know what I mean? You can see that that's a team that concedes a lot of goals, who's only kept 2 clean sheets in the entire Europa League competition so far. You can see it, and it screams out when you actually go after them. I mean, even the goal, little bit of pressure on the centre-backs, get them to make a choice, and they made the wrong one. So we start having half opportunities, but I'm skipping all the half opportunities because this video's too long. And the 118th minute again comes when we eventually sub on Kamal Roof and Aaron Ramsey. And Kamal Roof, for me, should have been on a hell of a long... I mean, Kamal Roof should have been on the park before it finishes the 90 minutes, let's be honest about that. And you can see what a natural centre-forward with natural centre-forward movement. Can they just look at the run in the 118th? Is that his first involvement in the entire game? I think it actually is. Glorious pulls the centre-back, doesn't have a clue where to go. And then he puts a ball in. That's wonderful. You can't ask for any more for Kamal Roof. It finds Ryan Kent, who, to be fair, has got a slide challenge coming into him, and he does make contact with the ball. That's probably all you're asking at that stage. But man, it's a shot 5-6 yards out in the 118th minute to win a major competition. It's going to be one of the ends you think about non-fricking stop, but at the same time as we were frustrated it didn't find the way in the back of the net. The reason it did, it wasn't blown near the bar or missed or rolled wide. It was somehow Trapp making an unbelievable save. He just jumps. You know what I mean? He just jumps and gambles where he thinks the ball could potentially go. I mean, it's maybe a 1 in 100 attempt save, but he gets his luck on that occasions, and that's the fine margins we talked about. There's no stop Macross beating Connor Goldson, Bassey getting beaten the inside, and Ryan Kent and Trapp having that moment. And you know, before we get to penalty kicks and everything, I think about that moment and how hard it must be to be a manager and everything like that, right? Because we're all questioning Gio's substitutions doing, we're all thinking back, and Roof should have been on earlier, like I said, and everything like that. But can you imagine we scored that? We would be calling that a Giovanni masterclass because Roos came on the park and instantly assisted the goal to win a major European trophy. But the players on the park missed the chance after the substitution made. So, aye, it's one of the Ians, ladies and gentlemen. But I just thought with the brief cameo that Roof actually showed in the game, you can see what a centre-forward can do versus a defence that isn't known for keeping clean sheets. But that chance was missed. We end up getting a free kick in the last minute as well, which is saved well by Trapp. And, aye, it's then penalty kicks. And everybody knows where I sit with penalty kicks. I love them during games. I hate penalty shoots, even with the memories of Florentina and everything. I just didn't like. I mean, we talked about this. Was it St Johnson last season? And times whenever we've done live videos, talking live streams or anything like that, I didn't like penalty shootouts. I can't handle them. You know what I mean? And it certainly looked like the players couldn't really handle them. But again, to be fair, was any of the penalties quote unquote bad? I didn't really think so. I mean, Frankfurt's were absolutely sensational. Taverniers has gone down the middle after doing the goalkeeper. It beats the goalkeeper's legs because it hits it kind of central, so it gets the rub of the green. Nullian, top bin. Arfield, top bin. Stephen Davis, best penalty kick I've ever seen in my entire life. They answer back with one in the corner. They hit the same way as Alan McGregor dives twice, and McGregor gets his hand on 2. Is it 2? Or is it 1? I think it's 2. I think he gets his hand on 2, but he can't do enough to get it. And then Aaron Ramsey steps up and, we all know by now, he ends up hitting it straight down the middle. The exact same penalty as Tavernier went ahead to hit, but this time he's not hit it anyway. The goalkeeper, hasn't died quite as much to the side, and he gets his foot on it. That's the Cruelest penalty shootouts, ladies and gentlemen. He had the balls to step up and take them, and when you have the balls to step up and take them, you eventually will miss them. Think back to when we missed the penalty shootouts versus St Johnson last season. I think the Tav and Roof and all that missing, and you look at what Roof done in the next one. It's a cruel game, and what a way to lose it. But again, look at after that, right? We'd scored and everything, and then Borre, who scored in the game, had to score to win it. Did he feel any pressure? No! He stepped up and rattled the penalty top bin, giving nobody a chance. You could have put 5 goalies in there and they're no saving it. So aye, they had no fear at all in that penalty shootout. I think they just believed that they were going to win the entire time. And aye, they hit their penalties with conviction. They won it. We hit 2 penalties without conviction. Got away with 1, didn't they, with the other, and we obviously paid the price on that. But that's how cruel the game can be, ladies and gentlemen, from all the journey to get here in terms of 2 games doing in the group stages. Dortmund, Red Star, Leipzig, Braga, the Mock, all the comebacks. In this game, battling tooth and nail, no playing well at all, but digging in and fighting and scrapping and getting the lead in the game, to throw it away, but to keep our heads, to battle on, take it to penalties. And what does it get decided by? 1 missed penalty kick. That's football, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we love it on occasions when it swings our way, but that is why it can be the cruelest game when it doesn't. And you can't get much crueler than that. And that's my overall thoughts and opinions in the game. Sorry how long this video is actually going to be. I just wanted to have maybe a conversation pieceways. I kind of could have went another way and everything like that, but what's the point? You know what I mean? It's me and the onwards, upwards, downwards, sideways. We go on, we follow on, and we always will, ladies and gentlemen. So the European dream ends. We move on now. We've obviously got a big game coming. Another big game in that at the weekend. Hopefully we can end with winning some silverwares. But I think this season will always be remembered as the season of what ifs and maybes. And that game of football summarises our entire freaking season, in my opinion. All of our mistakes, all of our silly stuff that's crept and hurt us all year, hurt us on the biggest game. And maybe it was always going to be like that. But that's me all done and dusted. Sorry about the length of today's video. Sorry about how late it's going to be uploading that as well. It took me a long time to get home and everything like that. But until next time, I've been Cedric92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.